Hey everybody, welcome to your horoscopes for this week. These are the horoscopes for the week ending October 8th, 2016, which is a very important day because the AOD is playing a show that day. That's right, Metal Fest is coming up this weekend on October 8th. It's at Hayward Memorial Park. It starts at 1 o'clock. It is a free show, but they are asking, of course, for donations because it is a canned food drive. Bring a metal can and see a metal band. That's how that works. So come on, it's an all ages show. If you're anywhere in the Bay Area, you definitely don't want to miss this out. AOD's playing and a whole bunch of other bands are playing too. We got the list up here for you. And of course I will have the event here in the description for you to click on and check out. It's going to be a great day, and of course, like I said, it's free. Just bring some food donations and come in and enjoy a full afternoon of metal. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and get right to the horoscopes, and we're going to start as we always do with Aries. This week, the moon kicks off in opposition with Uranus, and when it moves on, the sun is going to move into opposition with Uranus. And this is going to be a difficulty for you guys, especially when you have a lot of creativity and a lot of ideas in your business and career that you want to implement, but it just seems like you don't have the energy to do so. A lot of things are getting in the way of that, and that of course can be very frustrating for you Rams who just want to get in there and get things done. Now unfortunately the universe comes in sometimes to zap you with an illness or zap you with something else that's taking your focus away, and you can't really implement these things, and it's very frustrating for you guys. I totally understand it. But the universe knows what they're doing because a rest period for everybody is necessary. And this week, when you feel like the more you try and get out there and do what you want to do, and the more it seems you're being stopped doing what you're doing, it's time to take a step back away from that for a while. Get yourself rested up. Get yourself back on top. Get yourself back in a place where you feel that you are at your 100% energy level, because you're going to need that when you do implement those ideas. So this week, don't take this slowdown period as a frustration, because the truth is the universe slows you down for a reason. Timing is everything. And number one, it may not be the right time to implement these things that you want to implement. And number two, you physically may not be ready to implement these things, because once you do, you're going to need all the energy you can get. So you guys have a great week with that. Taurus, when you're looking at a really busy week with a lot of stuff to do, you may feel or you may be called upon to break out of your focus of what you need to be working on because somebody close to you needs something. Now, of course, Tauruses would drop at anything to help anybody. Of course, it's just their way. But when you're really focused on something and you really want to get through it, this can really feel like a distraction that you really don't need right now. Well, this week, you really want to avoid the frustration as much as possible. I know it's difficult, but you know, the truth is that you Tauruses can handle anything. And even though you may have to take your focus away in order to help somebody else out, the truth is you're doing something that resonates with your heart, number one. And number two, you guys can handle this. I mean, sometimes you need a break from what you're focusing on and focus on something else, so that when you do come back to what you were initially focused on, you have a much clearer view of what it is that you're doing. Whereas if you spend too much time focused on any one thing, you can get really, really lost and things get scrambled in your brain, and it just, you know, it makes it difficult. Plus, on top of that, don't worry about the fact that you may not have time to do all this stuff. The worrying is actually the time waster, not actually the stuff that needs to be done. So this week, just look at yourself in the mirror and say, hey, you know what? I got this. Because the truth is, you always do. Take one thing at a time and don't spend too much time worrying about what you can and can't do. The truth is, you can do whatever you need to do. And that's just the Taurus way. So you guys have a great week with that. Gemini, this week your focus is mainly on your relationships and understanding why some relationships seem to come and go while others seem to last forever. Now, of course, when we're looking at relationships, we have to look at it from both sides, of course, because we're looking at what we're putting into the relationship and taking out of the relationship and what the other one is doing at the same time. The truth is that a lot of people tend to look at their failed relationships and place the blame on the other person alone. And the truth is, it takes two to tango. It's not always just that other person's responsibility as to why that relationship ended. But the truth is, life is a cycle of birth and death. Things begin and then they end. Thus, the birth and death cycle. And relationships are no different. Understanding your role in these relationships, both the relationships that stick for long periods of time and the relationships that end, is really important. And taking that inventory on yourself is important because you're learning how you deal with these different relationships. And you're also giving yourself a break. We have a tendency to go one way or the other. Either we don't take any responsibility or we take all the responsibility. You want to find a bit of a balance there. Of course, some of that responsibility is you, but not all of it. And when it comes to relationships, a lot of times it's not just you taking on other responsibility, but it could be somebody else trying to hand you all that responsibility. You want to put that garbage down because if it's not yours, there's no reason to carry it. So this week, pay attention to those relationships. Really learn from those relationships, both the relationships that have lasted your whole life and the relationships that seem to come and go, because the truth is, this understanding is what's going to help you build healthy relationships from this point forward. So you guys have a great week with that. Cancer, this week when you find yourself paying a little bit too much attention, worrying about finances, it's time to put a stop to it. And that's what it's all about for you guys this week. Now, of course, money is a big part of our lives. It's a big part of everybody's lives. We can't live without money. We need it to pay our bills and to put food on the table and to keep the roofs over our head and, maybe even do some fun things that we want to do. But the truth is that money is also one of those things that you can always worry about. It's never going to go away. And this week, it's time to learn how to put the worry aside. The truth is, making more money is not going to eliminate your money worries. And I hear a lot of people say that all the time. If I just made a little bit more money, I could do this. Well, if you just make a little bit more money, your standard of living is going to raise to that money, and you're still going to have the same worry. This is not going to fix this cycle. You need to fix this cycle by saying, you know what? I'm not worrying about my finances today. Life is beautiful. And you're not going to be able to enjoy it unless you get out there and live it. And you're not going to be able to get out there and live it if you're sitting at home worrying about how much money you have or whether or not you're going to have enough money to do what it is that you need to do. So this week, it's time to break those worry barriers. Just because you have financial difficulties does not mean that you have to worry about it. The truth is, the worrying only lowers your vibration, makes you more frustrated, and freezes you from being able to do anything about the situation in the first place. It's really, really, really damaging and just no good for you. So you guys, get out there and live that life worry-free and have a great week with that. Leo, how about a bit of a break for you Leos this week? Yes, it's actually a bit of a break from focusing on any one particular thing, which means you can focus on pretty much whatever you want to focus on and relieve some tension. Give yourself a little bit of a break. Take a little bit of a mini vacation. Do something wonderful for yourself. Relax. Because that's what it's all about. But I know Leos, and I know that they just can't sit still and relax for an entire week because, it's just you have something to do, right? Well, that's okay because this week is perfect opportunity to go and revisit some old projects that you put on the back burner for a while because they weren't that important, or start dreaming up some new dreams. The truth is, it's been really busy lately for you guys. You've had a lot of things going on on your mind and a lot of things that you've been working on. You definitely deserve a break. And if you don't give yourself a break, well then no one's going to hand it to you. It's just not how life is. So this week, really give yourself a break. Take a few days to really just pamper yourself, really relax, really just, bring yourself back to center again. And then focus on coming up with some new ideas, some new things that you want to tackle, some new things that you want to do, some new things that you'd like to manifest into the universe, and of course, revisit some of those old projects that you put on the back burner too, because you never know. It just might be time for one of those old projects to become a brand new project. So you guys have a great week with that. Virgo, this week Mercury spends his last few days in your sign in trine with Pluto, reminding you that if you want something, you better speak up and ask for it. Yes, communicating about what you want is really, really important, and not just in a, well, I would really like this. No. You got to stand up and be powerful. This is what I want, and this is what I'm going to get. The truth is, you Virgos have to really understand what kind of power you're holding in your hands right now. We've had these T-squares, we've had all of these difficult aspects, they're all over with now. It's simple forward movement for you guys right now. So don't be afraid to speak up, ask for what you want, ask for help getting it, and above all, remember, be yourself. You don't have to compromise who you are for anything. If you want a promotion, ask for a promotion. What's the worst they're going to do? They're going to say, no, it's not the right time. And that's okay. A no is okay. It's not a rejection. It's just saying that right now is not the direction that you want to go in. Does not mean, though, that that promotion might come up in a week and they might consider you because they know that you are interested. So you got to think about it. Don't let fear of rejection get in the way of what it is that you want to do. The truth is, you Virgos, standing on your own 2 feet, being your own awesome selves, is more powerful than a lot of other things going on in this world. So this week, if you want something, don't be afraid to ask for it. Don't be afraid to speak up. And above all, do not be afraid to speak up and sell yourself. Because the truth is, you're not selling some fake person. You're selling a true Virgo person who can handle just about anything. And your communication needs to reflect, not that you're egotistical, not that you are looking or fishing for somebody to like you. Your communication should show somebody who is hardworking and knows exactly what they're capable of and is not afraid to tell whoever they need to tell that they are who they are. So you guys, good luck and have a great week with that. Libra, happy birthday to all the Libras born this week. The moon kicks off this week in your sign in opposition with Uranus. And as the sun moves into opposition with Uranus later on in the week, it is going to feel like you're anchored in one spot and you can't seem to get out of that spot. Especially when you really, really want to leave that spot. Now that's really frustrating, of course, because Libras take their responsibilities very seriously to the point where they will stick with them until they just can't stick with them anymore. And the truth is, it's a good thing, but it's not a good thing at the same time. Especially when the sun's sextile with Saturn is reminding you to who you're ultimately responsible to, which is you. You're responsible to yourself. Now remember, all of those times in the past where you didn't stay true to you, where you did what somebody else said should be done instead of following your own gut and your own intuition. These, of course, these mistakes are coming up for a reason. Not to remind you that you're stupid because you listen to the wrong people, but to remind you that you'll listen to other people instead of following your own gut instinct. And because you did that, it didn't work out for you. This week, you need to follow your own gut instinct. And you need to feel like you're not anchored anymore. The truth is that anchor doesn't actually exist. There's nothing anchoring you to any one place. It only exists in your mind. The more you think you're stuck there, of course, the more you're going to be stuck there. This week is an opportunity to bust through those myths, to bust through your own mindset, and really look at what you are capable of. Now, Libras are very powerful individuals. There's a lot of intelligence going on behind that Libra stare. There's a lot of intuition going on behind that Libra stare. And of course, there's a lot of ability to work going on behind that Libra stare as well. Use everything you've got. And no matter what anybody says negative about what your plans are, you do it because this is what you feel you need to do. You never know. It just might be the best decision you ever made. So you guys, have a great week with that. Scorpio, the planet of love Venus is still in your sign this week, moving into grand sextile position with Neptune and Pluto, which is a beautiful, absolutely beautiful aspect. These planets come together, bringing you wonderful, beautiful ideas, massive loving support that backs those ideas. And it comes down really to you. It's all about you and what you're willing to put into these ideas in order to manifest them into a reality. It's a beautiful energy, all coming together specifically to help you understand just who you really are and the power that you have as a Scorpio. Now, the truth is, and I've seen this with a lot of Scorpios recently, Scorpios have a tendency to not necessarily be out there and feel like they have a lot of support from other people. They do tend to be loners a little bit. Of course, they're fixed signs, and fixed signs are pretty well known for being kind of on the loner scheme of things. But the truth is that I've known a few Scorpios who have massive support around them, and yet they just don't feel it. And if you don't feel the support that you have around you, then what's the point of having that support? I mean, really, it just doesn't make any sense. This week, it's really time to pay attention. Really look at the support that you have backing you. Really look at the people that you have that are in your corner cheering you on. And really allow what they're doing to flow through you. This supportive energy is really what's going to project you towards your next goals, whatever they may be. And the truth is, you have a much bigger support system than you think you do. These big, beautiful, bright ideas are coming to you intuitively. And of course, Scorpio being the most intuitive sign of the zodiac, you really want to pay attention to those ideas. So this week, it's time to really allow that support and your own positive mindset to fuel you forward into becoming the person that you want to be. And becoming the person that you want to be means becoming and doing what it is that you want to do, and really stepping into those shoes, being brave enough to step into those shoes of who you are and what kind of mark you're going to leave on the world. Because the truth is, every single one of us is here for a reason. Every single one of us has something to do. And while we're here doing it, we could be doing it, we could be not doing it. But ultimately, I feel, and it's my opinion, that we should find what it is that we're meant to do and do it. So you guys have a great week with that. Sagittarius, while Saturn's square with Neptune continues and making you feel, or actually helping you understand where some of your negative mindsets come from, especially when they come from past situations, Saturn's sextile with the Sun helps you to take this information and use it to project you towards your career goals or your business goals. Now, the truth is, and this little square is difficult, but it's actually very helpful because it's forcing you to dig a little bit deeper inside of yourself. Not something that a lot of Sagittarians choose to do. They tend to really stay on the surface. Helping other people dig into what they need to dig into is probably a lot easier for them than digging into themselves, at least some of the Sagittarians that I know. The truth is, being given this opportunity to dig a little deeper inside of yourself, to understand where these things come from, is a beautiful thing. Because when you understand where this mindset comes from, even though you can't change the past or the actual situation, you can change how you're perceiving it now, and therefore you can change the mindset. Being able to change that mindset gives you a lot more power than you realize, and understanding that helps you and helps to project you towards your business or career goals. So this week, as you're feeling yourself being pushed to dig a little deeper, dig a little deeper, just a little bit deeper. Just take my word for it this one time and see what you can come up with. Because the truth is, understanding yourself on a deeper level is amazing. And it's definitely one of the first steps towards really becoming the powerful force that you are supposed to be. So you guys have a great week with that. Capricorn, as Pluto's trine with Mercury and grand sextile with Venus and Neptune is very strong this week. Of course, only for this week because it is going to be breaking up next week. But it's very strong this week, and it's making you feel like there are doors opening up around you everywhere. And your biggest, most difficult decision is, which door do you actually want to walk through? It's a very exciting time. But at the same time, as Pluto and Mars, which is in your sign, moved into your sign this week, actually line up in squared positions with the Sun, it does create a difficulty because with so many doors opening and so many awesome things in front of you, you may be feeling like you can't live up to these expectations, or you may not have what it takes to actually really make something of these opportunities. Now, the truth is, you don't want to waste time thinking that, because you're Capricorns. And one thing that I do know about Capricorns is when something needs to be done, they get that shit done. It's just how it works. It's the Capricorn way. The truth is, you can spend all of your time worrying, or you can get really excited, run through one of those doorways, and find out what needs to be done, and see if you can handle it. The truth is, this is not a test. If it doesn't work out, or you ran through the wrong door, that's okay. It doesn't mean that another door isn't going to open for you. It doesn't mean that that was your only chance. And it sure as heck doesn't mean that you didn't put 100% into it. It just means that maybe, even though you tried it, it's simply not what you're meant to do right now. All you got to do is back out of that door and walk on into another door. That's how that works. So this week, when it seems like opportunities are opening up all around you, don't panic, don't get freaked out, don't get scared about whether or not you can handle it. The truth is, you can handle anything. You're Capricorns, and that, of course, is what you're known for. So you guys have a great week with that. Aquarius, this week, give yourself the opportunity to take a break. And when I say take a break, I mean take a break here. Yes, Aquarians, if you know Aquarians, if you are an Aquarian, then you know that that mind goes about 10,000 miles a minute and thinks about 20,000 different things in that minute all at the same time. It's constantly moving, it's constantly going, and sometimes it gets in the way. It's moving so quickly that it makes it difficult for the individual to actually get anything done. This week it's time to take a break from that. Now, you got some brilliant ideas coming through this week because, of course, your brain's not actually going to stop functioning. Then, yes, I agree, write them down. You don't want to lose them. But then leave them there. Don't try and think further into it or anything like that. The truth is, taking this break and doing this is a good idea because it helps you to understand how your mind works and to put boundaries on it. Now, you own your brain, not the other way around. And a lot of times, especially with air signs or signs or people that have a tendency to think a lot, what happens is that they always come and tell me the same thing. That's just how my brain works. I can't stop it. That's baloney. You have control over that. Taking this break this week gives you the opportunity to put some boundaries so that when your brain is flip-flopping or racing and you say stop, that's it, enough. Your brain should stop. It takes practice. It takes work. Of course, you have to keep on doing it. But at the same time, giving yourself a break also gives your brain a chance to take a rest at the same time. You may not realize it, but if you sit in one spot and you think a lot for several hours, you're going to be exhausted because your brain is tired, and therefore it makes the body tired at the same time. And it makes you sleepy because, of course, your brain has gone so much that it just goes and it doesn't want to work anymore. This week, give yourself the opportunity to turn it off. Switch it on, switch it off, switch it on, switch it off. And if you need help, check out my grounding, bubbling, and centering video, which is here, located in my playlist for informational videos. There is a very cool, I got a couple of very cool ideas that might help you be able to switch that brain on and off. So this week, it's time to take control over your brain because the truth is you own it. It doesn't own you. Give it a break, give it a rest, and, above all, just enjoy not thinking about anything. Believe it or not, it can happen, and it's a wonderful thing. You guys have a great week with that. And finally, Pisces, Neptune's grand sextile with Venus and Pluto this week has you coming up with some amazing ideas, and each one of these ideas is literally worth their weight in gold. Now, even though Neptune's squared position with Saturn does have you feeling a little bit of doubt on whether or not these ideas are actually going to go somewhere, these ideas are so exciting to you that the positive energy seems to overrule the negative energy. And that is a really, really good thing. Now, it's been very difficult for you fishies in the last couple of months. You really need this boost of positive energy. And when it comes to the worrying, you're always going to want to worry. That's just a regular human being thing. But you want to not worry about it. The truth is that these ideas need to be implemented, and of course you're going to have the support system to back you up to implement them. It may not be the support system that you thought it was, but it is coming from another source. Don't worry about it not coming from where you think it's going to be coming from. Just have your arms open to the fact that it's there for you when you need it. But this week, it's a beautiful week for you guys. You have a lot of opportunities, a lot of wonderful ideas, and of course, do your thing. Be you, because there's no point in succeeding if you're trying to succeed, trying to be somebody else. You got to stay true to who you are and succeed as your own authentic self. So you guys have a great week with that. Thank you so much for watching the horoscopes this week. I'm Melissa Bruce, the Heavy Metal Psychic. Don't forget the 13-card tarot prediction for 2017 is here. We're 1 month down. We've only got 3 months to go until it is gone for the year, because it's only available until December 31st, 2016. So make sure that you email me at afairymother'sdream@gmail.com or heavymetalpsychic@gmail.com. Or, of course, you can always get a hold of me and find me on Facebook under the Heavy Metal Psychic. Again, I'm Melissa Bruce, the Heavy Metal Psychic. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great week. I'll see you lovely people next week.